Good morning, throwing in an extra little video here, not something I anticipated on doing, and it's never something I've shown somebody to do, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. But yesterday I was making some little coat hangers for my Smartdoll wear, because I have them hung up in a row, and I'd run out of coat hangers, so I thought, oh, hard to get hold of anything like that at the moment, so I thought, can't be that difficult. So I had a quick look on YouTube, and there are other videos out there. Please have a look, there might be easier ways of doing it, and I decided I can do that. Why not? So getting the right thickness of wire was a slight issue. This is a garden wire. It's just sort of tying up plants and things, but it's quite a solid one. It's a covered wire, so again that sort of protects the clothes, so you don't need to worry too much about that. But let me find the end and I'll try and show you the bend on it. There we go. There's the end. There's the end. It will if it appears. It's there. Right, so at first lot I bought was wrong. It was too soft and it was just not going to work. It's got to hold. It's got to be able to hook. The clothes aren't heavy, but you do need to make sure that if you buy it too thin, you pop the clothes on, it's just going to collapse. So you don't want that. So it's got to be quite a strong wire, but it's also got to be not too strong that you can't bend it, because I know my hands struggle a little bit. I don't know whether this could have perhaps done with being a little bit stronger. I don't know, but it's worked okay for me and it's holding the clothes. I made 20 of them yesterday, so this will be my 21st, so I'm gonna have to find something to put on it. You might find out in the second video what that might be, but there we go. So I'm gonna have a go at this. I have a few tools. I do have some jewellery making things, but you don't need the jewellery making ones. If you've just got some basic sort of clippers and pliers, that's more than adequate. I have a ruler because I did measure out my first couple, but after that you sort of don't need to. And I've got this piece of wood which might seem a bit weird, but it does help with some of the shaping, and that is just obviously one of their tops that I've actually hung up on a coat hanger, so you can see it holds quite well, so it is quite good. I've dinted it slightly there. You don't have to, but I was thinking, because I've got a couple of things that I need to sew some little ribbons on so I can hang them, because not everything can hang like this, but it's not got straps, for example. So I'm going to put some little things on, but they just holds the straps. If you've got strappy things, it holds it. But the wire is so pliable, you can sort of bend it into whatever shape you fancy, really. You can make some really fancy ones. So let's have a look. Let me move all the bits to one side, and I'm going to try and explain how I actually did this. I hope this is going to make sense. The first thing I did, obviously, with the wire is it was approximately, now you have wire over with this, but it's much better to have it slightly longer than slightly shorter, so there's a little bit of wastage, I'm afraid. So I did it at 33 centimeters, so that's 30, and the only thing is it curls up and it's annoying. That's about right. So my wire's going to get in the way, isn't it? Taking these like I said, these are just really old clippers I've got. There we go. It cuts through quite easily. So I'm going to move that piece out of the way. Let's try and keep this a little bit tidy. Now, if we look at the actual tape measure, I was going to say then, the coat hanger itself, and I'll use the ruler, you can see it's approximately between 10 and 11-ish. That's 11, that one. But if you take your clothes, you'll get an idea of the width that you want. I got some old coat hangers, so I was okay to do it. So it's really, you need to go just past the shoulders, I think, to hold it. Otherwise, it has a tendency to slip off. Again, you can make them to what size you want. If you've got smaller dolls, you make smaller ones. Larger dolls, make larger ones. But I reckon we'll go with 11, because that particular one is 11. I think a couple of my others are a little bit smaller. You will find they vary. I'm no professional at doing this. It just happened to work, so I was really pleased with it. So some might work, some might not, so don't worry, but the wire bends really nicely, so it's not too bad at all. So I know I need approximately 10 centimeters. So I'm just going to take roughly the center of this, and I'm going to pop it on about 5. So I think that and that. So that is going to be my first bend. Now I'll just do that quickly. So that's all I've done. So I know roughly where I want the bend to be. This will flatten out. Don't worry about that. Now to actually get the bend, this is where this funny little piece of wood came in. I was looking for something to bend it around and I couldn't find anything. Now this is the width of the rail that hang my clothes on, so it gave me a good idea as well. So basically all I did was I pushed that into the corner and bent it across. Okay, now I want this one for me to go behind this one, because I found that worked better. So I'm going to go to the other side. I'm trying to do it not caggy-handed and push it. Okay, Looks a bit lumpy at the moment. Don't worry, you can reshape it. These wires are going to get in my way because when I'm crocheting I don't need to worry about the wires. So excuse me if I keep moving the thing. Which way round should I be? Yeah, I said I wanted this side to go behind. Just flatten it out a little bit for now. Now this one is going to actually be the hook. So again, look for proximate centre. I think that's about there. And I'm going to bend that one up because that is going to be my hook. This is the one that is going to wind round here. This is the bit that might hurt your fingers a little bit, so be careful with that. So I'm going to keep it quite flat so it looks approximately equal. And here we go, the first bend. This is the hardest bit. So I've just bent it round. And I'm going to bend it round again. And I'm going to do it one more time, all the way around, because I want the end at the back. Okay, push it down, try and get it as close as possible. Again, that will come down to sort of how your fingers can cope with it, because I know mine struggled a little bit. And then I'm going to just cut. Watch it, because it flies. Oh, says me, that one didn't. When I was doing them yesterday, they were flying all over the place. So I've just clipped it. I'm going to take my pliers now. Don't want a rough edge here. And just squash it down. Careful not to squash it too much because this is a coating and you can actually sort of rip it off and you don't want that. You can have just plain wire ones if you can just get wire. You don't have to have the coated, it's just that these seem to work quite nicely. So this time I'm going to pop them back down. I'm going to bend it slightly. Can you see I'm just moving my finger up about a little bit, about there? And then this funny little piece of wood is going to come into play. Again, I'm determined. I shouldn't be doing these sort of videos. I'm just like a disaster zone. Right, so I'm using this piece of wood and I'm holding it. You don't need to do this. If you've got something to bend the hook it round to make a hook, do that. I tried a couple of things, but I didn't have much luck. I just found this out by accident. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend, 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 bend. It helped me get a nice smooth bend all the way around. Can you see what I'm doing? I don't know whether you can. Right, we have a hook. You can just bend that hook. You don't have to use a piece of wood like I did. I just found the wood actually made it a little bit easier for me to do. So I'm relatively happy with that. Oh, a little bit sort of cornered there. I'm not sure about that. So I'm going to use a piece of wood and just push it out. You can use whatever you want to actually create that. You can get away with just bending it. If I put that down a second and grab the wire itself, you can get away with just, that's how well it bends. I just found it easier when I was holding it to actually use that. Now it still doesn't look very pretty. This looks a bit messy, doesn't it? So again, little piece of wood's coming into play. First of all, I will flatten. And I'm stretching it slightly. It just holds it into place. Then I'm taking a piece of wood. I will turn it round because there's a label on that end. Pushed it in. And you see, so I've just pushed it in. And I'm just going to push down from the top and down. So I really hope this is going to be clear. So can you see what's happened? I've just dinted it down a little bit. I'll show you the same with the other side. So I'm going to push it in. And I'm just going to push it down from the top to dint it in a little bit. So that's it. I have a coat hanger. Oh, and I'm also making you dizzy because I keep knocking this camera. So basically just shuffle it round to how you want it. The wire is relatively flexible. That's why I say it's hard to find a wire that's right. If it's too hard, it will work well and it'll hold well, but like I say, it's really hard to bend. This is quite nice. I just got this from a local DIY shop that is actually still open here. He's open a couple of hours a day for people to pick things up. So I was able to go out and get this. The other one I got from the supermarket, which just said it was garden wire, and to be honest, it was a bit rubbish. I think perhaps this should be tilted back a little bit, like that, so it looks more like a coat hanger. And there you go. That is it. I hope you could see that well enough. Like I say, you can start to shape it as you want. You could decorate them. I've thought about crocheting round mine, actually, because you can do like a crochet round things like that. That's a possibility. I don't know. Or you could add a little bow. Obviously, if it's just plain wire, you can decorate it like you want. Obviously, these are green, so I'm sort of stuck with the idea of green. So I hope you could see that well enough. We're just under 10 minutes at the moment. Please make a comment if you can't sort of get how I'm showing it, because like I say it's never something I've shown before, as I said, there are other YouTube videos out there, other people making different types of coat hangers, so there's some good ideas. But it's a great cheap way. This cost me, I think it was £2.50, and look at all that wire I've got left. Oh dear, I've got to make some lots of coat hangers. Thing is though, I won't have any space or position to actually hang them. That's the only thing. I'm gonna have to rethink about that. I do have one spot I could put another rail up. Oh, that's bad, isn't it? I wonder what I will put on there. I don't know. But hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you were able to do it. It was just a little request by a couple of people. I've got another video coming back to back. It's another Smartdoll one, so please stay with me and pop on to the next one, which I'll probably put sort of in the corner so you can see them both together. And hope to see you very soon. Please like, subscribe and share. And I'll be back in a moment or two. Bye.